Okay guys, no beating around the bush on this one. I'm just going to get right to the point. Look, I'm going to give your support and resistance levels for certain charts for Bitcoin, but most importantly I want to show you why I know exactly when Bitcoin is going to crash. And I'm going to give you all the proof you need in this video. I'm going to cover Solana and Nvidia as well. So in the very last video, the very first thing I said, I'll link up this video now if you want to check it out. Very first thing I said was expect some upside. Listen to what I said. Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. And in this video, I'm going to show you that I think it's possible we could have some upside for Bitcoin. I'm going to show you this possibly could have a big move for Solana very soon, and exactly how to play Nvidia if you play stocks. Now in the last video, I forgot to cover Sol. I will cover Sol today and Nvidia. Now guys, this move is coming up. I'm going to show you how big of a move this is going to be. So if you're not familiar with leverage trading and you want to get into it, look, this is a tutorial video I put out. This is how to trade on BitGet. It's almost identical to BingX and CoinCatch. So if you want to watch this video, I'll put a link up to it. This teaches you everything you need to know about setting up a long, a short, a stop loss, doing trigger orders, and all of these exchanges are pretty much the same. So once you learn how to trade on one, you can trade on all of them. If you want to sign up for BitGet, the link's pinned in the first comment and description. If you're located in the US, you're looking for an option to trade, BingX and CoinCatch should be a great option for you in the US. Learn how to trade, be ready, set up an account because it is coming soon, and the point of this video is to show you how I know this big move is coming. If you do want to sign up and get access to all these live charts and our Discord, the link to sign up is pinned in the first comment and description. The website is opticalartcrypto.com. I made a post about this chart. Next resistance is 30,150 to 30,300. We hit that point, we got rejected. This was another update. I combined two charts. This is a new line to pay attention to. This is the ring when we cross it, expecting that major crash. And again, I will come back and I will give you support and resistance levels. Well, near the end of this video, I'll show you these upside targets and downside targets. And as I mentioned, this is the ring to pay attention to. When you make contact with the ring, you go long. When you cross the ring, you go short. Now, all I can tell you is these rings work. This was the last video I put up, the same one I just referenced. I covered Nvidia. I go back and watch that video. I showed you how these rings work and how they're so powerful at predicting moves. And I told you, like I said in the beginning of that first video, I showed you exactly how to play Nvidia. Listen to what I said in that last video about Nvidia. This is where I said to go short. Historically, this yellow and this blue flip circle, every time we hit it, there's a rejection. We came down and notice we're riding right up this ring just like we did back here. So what that means is for Nvidia, you stay long with Nvidia right now. You enter a long, you should have been long down here if you had access to the chart, but you stay long until you cross this ring. So if we push all the way up to 488, that might be the point you want to open a short, or at any point you cross this ring, so 1, 2, 3, 4 days, if you cross this ring in the next 3 to 4 days, you'd want to go short. So this is my second video for Nvidia. I talked about this ring. I said when you cross this ring, you go short. I said when you make contact with these rings, you go short. And I said when you cross this ring, you go short. And look how this played out. So this is the first video. This is a published chart published on July 6th. That first video, I covered this ring. So when you cross this ring, you go short. We pushed up, we hit this ring. We came down and made contact with this ring. I said when you cross it, you go short. Look how it's playing out. We pushed right up this ring. As soon as we crossed it, we had a drop, and Nvidia is dropping even more. You can see down here. Your downside target for Nvidia is way the hell down there. If you want to get access to these charts, they're available in stocks. Let's cover Solana. I made a video about this chart. I cannot find the specific one. I was supposed to cover it before. I did not. I added this fib circle. Notice this fib circle was support. It was support. So when I created this chart, this blue ring would be support. When you cross the ring, expect a big move. Watch how it played out. Notice we pushed up, got rejected at resistance. We came down, hit support when we crossed the ring, and then we just had a blast off straight up. We're at resistance right now. So if you play Solana, these are the points to short. You could chance a short right now around 27.25. If we get above that, the next point to short is right around $30. Your next support level too long is 24.82. And if we get below that, next point too long is 20.84. This is just another example of rings and how they play out. Published this on March 7th. This is one version of the NASDAQ, and I just want to show how these rings play out. Notice when we cross this yellow ring, we drop. Watch what happens when we cross the next yellow ring. Notice we drop when we cross, it's support, resistance, support, right? Came down, rode up the ring. This is the exact same thing I'm showing you for what's about to play out for Bitcoin. Notice we drop, as soon as we crossed the ring, we pushed up to hit resistance right to the tick, and now we're coming down. This here is the 10-year Treasury yield. Take note, when the Treasury yield has a bottom, that is a peak for the markets, right? Bottom for the markets, peak in the Treasury yields. Bottom in the markets, peak in the Treasury yields. Look how overextended we are. This is a peak. Notice it looks like the Treasury yields are bottom and started pushing up. You know what that means for the stock market. Oil, you can see right here, this was support, 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 and now it's resistance, resistance, resistance. So if we get a major drop in oil, what would cause that? Maybe because the economy starts crashing. Nobody's delivering goods. Businesses are shutting down. They don't need gasoline, so the price of oil goes down. That happened back here. That happened during COVID. That happened when the market started dropping. So again, everything's pointing to a crash. We came up to test previous support as resistance. That means we could have some downside for oil. The Dow Jones, this is a chart I made quite a while back. Just would like to point out, notice what happens. We ride up support levels, support, 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 hit a resistance, right? We break it, we come back, test it at resistance. As we just had chop back and forth, back and forth. Then we pushed up, this was a new support level, right? Support, we broke below it, became resistance, we dropped back down. Same damn thing is happening. You'll notice right here, this was our resistance, flipped as support. This right here was our resistance, right? Flipped as support. That means we could come back down and go as low as this point. Something major is coming. I'm telling you, the markets are about to have a major drop. Nvidia, all these overvalued stocks like Apple and Microsoft and Nvidia, they are about to come down, come crashing down, and it's going to bring Bitcoin down with it. I would like to show you something. This is one chart that I helped. If you watched that previous video, I said that we would likely have some upside with Bitcoin and with the Dow, and that was based on this orange ring. I said every time we hit one of these rings, we get a bounce. That's why I said we have some upside for Bitcoin. And notice we got rejected at this fib channel line. This was support, resistance, or resistance, support. Notice we got almost not a perfect rejection, but we got rejected at 33,878. And we're coming down to test support. So we could find support at 32,952 and push back up. But what I want to point out is this red fib circle right here. The one we crossed, right? We crossed it and we just moved down it as support and went lower and lower and lower. This next ring we were coming up on soon. That means we are going to have some more downside. I don't think we're going to push back up. I think we will go sideways. And I do think either before or after we cross it, this ring is going to send the Dow Jones down. And it's going to send, again, markets move together. If the Dow is crashing, NASDAQ and the S&P will be crashing as well. But I would like to copy this ring right here and paste it over this chart and just show you what I'm expecting. All right, look at this ring and look how price is respecting it. You can clearly see what's going on here. This ring right here, notice it was support right here. Notice it was support all through here. Notice it was support, resistance, resistance, right? And you can see how price is interacting with it up here. But notice we hit this ring, right? This ring was a pivot. We crossed the ring and then we came down. Whether we push up, go sideways, or down, when we make contact with this ring, it makes sense that we are going to come down. And I'm talking about one hell of a drop. We're sitting at 33,200 for the Dow right now. If we come all the way down to support, we're talking about a 33,000 to you're talking about a $10,000 move for the Dow Jones. Imagine how much the NASDAQ and the S&P are going to come down in some of these overvalued stocks. Now this is the chart. All I can do is tell you, like I've showed you Nvidia, I showed you Sol. If you watched that previous video I put up, I gave you so many examples of how these rings play out, and all I can tell you is, you can see how much we came down when we crossed this ring right here. This ring. Let me find my brush tool. When we crossed this ring, we had one hell of a drop. And take note, this is all the same fib circle. Notice when I move it, let me unlock it here. Hold on. All right, notice this ring. All right, this fib circle is all one fib circle. Notice this very same fib circle. This is our peak back here in 2017, right? Notice we got topped out right here. It was support and resistance. It was temporary resistance right here. Notice we topped out right at this point and got rejected. Now I don't have this on candles. This is on line drawing. You can't see the wicks. But every time we hit one of these rings, we get a bounce. Every time we hit this ring, you can see right here, we got a bounce. But every time we cross one of these rings, we get a drop. Even right here, we got a slight drop, push back up, and had a crash. From everything that's going on, all the charts, what they're showing me, when we cross this ring, we're going to have one major crash. And I know exactly where we're headed. Look at this support level right here, right? This is support, support. It was actually support again. You can't see it because it's on line drawing. Notice this line here. This was also support, right? Support, support. Those two lines converge right here, right at a particular price. And if you'll take note, this is where live book maps, you can Google or YouTube search and you can find this. Take note right down here at 12,000. Look at all these buy orders. Now I don't know what these numbers represent other than the bigger the number, the more buy orders. You can see it's dark, deep red at $12,000. 4,536 versus up here you can see what? 147 buy orders, 238, up at 3,100. I do think it's possible we could test 3,100. There's a lot of sell orders up here at right at 3,100. I'm sorry, 31,000. You see 484. Look down here at 12,000. 4,536. That's just look at the difference in this number up here and how dark red this is. Why do you think that's the case? You think it's a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence. Because look at this price. Look at this price label right here. What price is that? 12,000 right here, right at 12,000, right where these two lines intersect. This line here and this line here. And look what we're about to do. We're about to cross this ring. Now, as I said, when we hit this ring at any point, now I'll give you these support resistance levels. When you hit right here, so let's say we come down, your first point too long, if Bitcoin drops, is 28,642. If that breaks, wherever you make contact with this ring, if we drop straight down and go sideways, you would long, especially if you're at this ring, you would long 27,222. If we move sideways and come down and we hit it right here at 28,000, that is where you long. Every time you hit this orange ring, you go long. But when you cross it, whether it's down here, right, whether it's up here, when you cross this ring, this is when you go short, and that will be the next major crash to send this down to put in a new bottom. Again, if you want to get access to this chart, sign up to the website. When I go short, I will be posting it in Discord along with my stop loss, if I use a stop loss, or when I add to my short. But this is the next point that Bitcoin is going to have a major crash. Now I can tell you this, if we push above your current resistance, take note this line right here. This is a very important line, this purple line I'm moving the price label on. This is where two lines converge. That's why I said that was your next resistance to short. If we get above, all right, if we get above 30,200, your next point too short. Let me duplicate this. Your next point too short would be up here around 32,700. We could just bounce back and forth. All right, I'm not going to give you the point right over here. I'm just going to tell you, when we cross this ring, this is when you short. So if you cross below, if you cross here, your resistance, your stop loss should be above this blue line here. If we cross right here, well, you need to have your stop above this point right here, above 30,676. The point is, when you cross it, that's when you go short. And I just showed you how important this is. I showed you how these rings work. Watch that last video. I covered many charts showing how these rings work. Every time we hit one of these orange rings, we get a bounce. I think I can show you that here. Let me zoom out a bit. Every time we hit one of these orange rings, we got a bounce. Notice right here, we hit it, we got one hell of a bounce. Why? Because they wanted to take out all of the shorts, get longs to stack before sending it down. The same thing happened back here before we had that major crash. Look, we hit it, we got one hell of a bounce. Why? Take out all of the shorts, get people to long before that major crash. That is what these rings represent, and that's what's about to happen in this next ring. So again, when you make contact with the ring, you go long. When you make contact with the ring, you go long. When you cross the ring, you go short, and that is how it's going to play out. And I just showed you, look, you got two very key support levels here, support level here, converging right at 12,000. We're about to cross a ring that historically, I mean, look at this ring. This is the very same ring, right? This ring we're about to cross was our peak. This was our peak around, what, almost 20,000? That was resistance, right? We came up, we broke above it. That is the very same ring we're about to cross right now. That is how important this ring is. So again, if you want to learn how to trade, watch this video. I'll put a link up to it again. Learn how to open a short, open a long. You can do demo mode, you can practice. Be ready, save some capital, but be ready to short this ring because it's going to be a major, major drop. That's pretty much it, guys. I don't know what else to say. Let me go ahead and pick the 2 coin winners from the last video. So hold on, I gotta paste the actual video in here. Let's see here. So it's this video here called Ring Theory, and you do need to watch it. Alright, so let me go ahead and click share, copy. Alright, the coin winners are... Alright, so it was the 2 coin winners for the 1 ounce Bitcoin silver coins. So the first winner is Whoop. Thanks for the update, man. Or mate, you're welcome. And the second winner is Rights or Roneth. Love your content. Well, thank you. You guys are the 2 coin winners. All you have to do is email me through the website. That is right here. Click on contact, email me. I'll give you a code or some word to edit your comment. Once you edit your comment, I'll verify that that was your comment, and then I will ship out your coins to you, and we pay for shipping. But guys, that's pretty much it. If you want to sign up for BitGet, or for BingX, or for CoinCatch, the links to sign up are pinned in the first comment description. Make sure you watch this video if you want to learn how to trade, and just understand that pretty soon we're going to have one epic crash. I showed you how powerful these rings are and how they work. Once we cross this ring, that is it. So if you're not in your short, you're going to miss it. And obviously, we know we're too long. It's right here at 12,000. All right, guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.